Hello, and welcome to our vendor management and compliance use case using agentic automation. Today, we'll explore how we can transform the traditionally complex and manual process of vendor insurance compliance into a streamlined, intelligent workflow. Let me introduce our key stakeholders. We have Francine, our new vendor, who needs to be onboarded through the insurance compliance process. Carrie from our legal team, who handles risk assessment and compliance review. And Alan from our vendor management team, who oversees the entire process and interacts with the vendors. Currently, the vendor onboarding process for insurance compliance is lengthy and resource intensive. Across most industries, it takes on average of 1 to 3 months to onboard a vendor, costs around $10,000 per vendor, and results in 50% rework due to documentation issues and manual processes. Through the implementation of UiPath Agent Builder, we're introducing a multi-layered approach that combines specialized AI, agentic automation, and human oversight. This new workflow will handle everything from initial document intake to final compliance decisions, with AI doing the heavy lifting of document understanding, data extraction, and risk analysis, all autonomously through agents.
Every vendor that is completing work as a subcontractor is required to submit a certificate of liability insurance that details out what their insurance policy is. On the left, you will see an example of the minimum requirements that are detailed in the company documents. An example of the minimum requirements can be items such as the minimum limits of liability, which is required by the subcontractor. Contracts analysts have to ensure that the certificate of liability insurance meets all the requirements that are detailed in the company document. In this workflow, we will first connect to any sort of shared repository, in this case, Google Drive, to retrieve the certificate of insurance that the vendor has uploaded. Using UiPath document understanding, we will extract the relevant information, such as the limits of liability insurance. We will pass this information to an agent to verify that these limits meet the minimums set forth in our company document. You will also see how an agent can be used to ensure that all the vendors that are in our database meet our limits of liability and are compliant with our policies. We have built an agent that is responsible for ensuring that the minimum requirements on the certificate of insurance meet our company requirements. Once it completes this analysis, it will send a Slack message to the end user detailing its analysis as well. To do so, the agent has access to several tools such as Slack to send a message to the user, as well as UiPath document understanding to ensure proper extraction. We have also ensured that the agent has context that is outlined on our company documents as well. Here we have seen an example of an agent run. The agent used the tool to extract the relevant information from the document. Next, it compared against our company documents to determine whether the vendor was meeting the minimum requirements that are set forth. Finally, it sent a message to the user identifying the results of its response. And here we see the output. The agent has correctly identified that this vendor meets the requirements that are set out in our company document.
This is where our vendor management agent transforms the process. The agent continuously monitors our vendor database to flag upcoming document expirations before they become issues, cross-reference existing vendor documentation against our latest compliance requirements, generate targeted outreach to vendors when updates are needed, and provide clear instructions on specific documentation gaps that need addressing. For example, if a vendor's workers' compensation coverage is expiring in 60 days, or if our compliance requirements have changed, the agent will automatically trigger a notification workflow. It analyzes the risk level of each vendor, prioritizes outreach based on business impact, and ensures we maintain continuous compliance rather than discovering issues during annual reviews. While originally the process traversed through the legal department and into the vendor management team, we now have an agent handling all of the tasks itself. Now we will run the agent. Here, the agent is cross-referencing all of the documentation and details of all vendors alike, and identifying where the gaps lie in the process. With context from several databases and documents, the agent is able to handle any problems that come its way, while pulling humans into the loop where necessary. As you can see here, the agent has identified an issue and has sent a message to the vendor management team to ensure closure. And has sent an email to the vendor management team notifying them of the compliant and non-compliant vendors.